ABC.
I know just how destructive this is to the body, and especially to development of a child. This has no place in children's healthcare.
Chloe, she began life as a girl. She was encouraged to take hormones and have a mastectomy as a teenager because she was told you're actually a boy in a girl's body. And then in her late teens, she said, no, this is wrong. You've given me really bad advice. I'm a woman. So she's gone back to being a female.
I was sort of a wallflower. I started going through a bit of an early puberty. I was about 8 or 9 when my breasts started to develop, and with that came a lot of uncomfortable attention. I just felt people judging me so harshly. And there were times when I really started to question, why was I made this way? What's the point of me being a girl if I don't feel like the others? Maybe I just would have been happier if I were born a boy. But I never really truly believed that I was a boy until I actually learned about the transgender community. These were real young men and women who had a lot of similar struggles to me. I really started to cling on to the idea that I was actually a boy. I started calling myself a boy. I told my older sister about it, and then some people from school who I trusted a little bit more. Before, I made the jump to telling my parents about my feelings. I wrote them a letter, basically telling them, I don't want to be your daughter anymore. I want you guys to accept me as your son. They wanted to see a therapist for this because they didn't really know how to help me through this. Right. But the psychologists who I saw were all in the affirmative, and there was no real exploration of why I felt this way about myself. And what's really weird is that they didn't really allow my parents to partake in these therapy appointments because I didn't really give express permission. I was clearly not getting any better. And in fact, I was starting to go south emotionally and psychologically. Mom and Dad were told, there's a reason why your child wants this, and she understands what she wants. She's young, she's 13, but children have an understanding of what their gender identity is.
Do you think that's right?
No. They're just born one sex or the other, and there's always some natural variation in our behavior. I was a tomboyish girl, I felt like I fit in more with the boys, but that didn't mean that I was actually one of them. When you're a parent and you're presented by a doctor, of all people, 2 options, life or death for your child, you're obviously going to pick the choice of life. That's when the psychologists started referring us to endocrinologists to put me on hormones. I had my first and only surgery 2 years later at the age of 15. I couldn't quite feel everything. It felt like electricity just moving through my chest.
When did you realise, Chloe, that this had all been a big mistake?
I mean, I'd never had a romantic relationship before, but I had to start thinking about whether I wanted to settle down and have a family of my own. And the older I got, the more important I realized just how much that meant to me. I know just how destructive this is to the body, and especially to development of a child, physically, sexually, reproductively, emotionally, and psychologically. This has no place in children's healthcare.